Ever notice how you seem wired differently than everyone around you? Like your brain runs on software the modern world doesn't recognize anymore? It's not imagination. If childhood found you in the 1970s, your psychological blueprint formed under conditions that have completely vanished. Not superior, not inferior, simply extinct. Your formative years unfolded when independence wasn't theoretical, it was tangible. You vanished from home carrying no tracking device, no parental surveillance network, no digital leash connecting you to constant oversight. Yet this liberty arrived with genuine accountability. You navigated consequences, honored curfews, managed situations solo. What distinguishes this period isn't sentimentality, it's environmental context. Culture granted children trust levels that seem incomprehensible now. Danger wasn't sanitized away. Emptiness wasn't immediately filled. Struggle wasn't instantly remedied. Your brain wired itself around these realities. This isn't romanticizing yesterday or condemning tomorrow. It's acknowledging that neural development reflects surroundings. The landscape you inhabited trained your mind for independence, resilience, and self-direction through methods contemporary childhood cannot duplicate. When today's environment feels alien, you're not obsolete, you're tuned for circumstances that dissolved, still operating with their internal programming. Every 70s kid absorbed one phrase with immediate clarity: "I'm bored." Not because adults sympathized, but because they didn't. Speak those words aloud and the response arrived predictably. Then create your own entertainment, or I'll assign you chores. Whatever tasks parents designated never matched what you'd devise independently. So you mastered solving emptiness before it consumed you. Activities weren't distributed. No structured enrichment calendars, no algorithmic suggestions, no screens offering rescue from vacancy. Unscheduled hours weren't problems requiring solutions. They simply existed, demanding neural response. Developmentally, this mattered beyond surface recognition. Studies examining unstructured youth reveal children organizing personal time develop superior executive capacity, cognitive abilities governing organization, concentration, and behavioral control. More significantly, something foundational crystallized underneath. You acquired competence. When nothing occurred, you generated occurrence. Books consumed you, forts materialized, bicycles carried you until daylight disappeared, or floors became workbenches for mechanical exploration. Meaning didn't arrive externally, it emerged through personal initiative. Contemporary childhood treats vacancy like contamination requiring immediate neutralization. Your nervous system absorbed opposite wisdom. Emptiness isn't crisis, it's invitation. A gentle prompt engaging your consciousness. This lesson persisted. As adults, blank space doesn't terrorize you like it unsettles others. Scrolling withdrawals, schedule gaps, attention vacuums don't trigger panic. Your brain retains something modern existence rarely teaches. Significance doesn't always arrive pre-assembled. Sometimes creation becomes necessary. What vacancy silently imparted transcended creativity. It taught self-generated purpose when none existed externally. When schedules remained blank, subtle internal shifts occurred. Without calendars, notifications, or external demands directing attention, consciousness turned inward. Questions emerged that contemporary children rarely confront. What interests me presently? What captures sustained attention? What feels personally meaningful? Identity formation begins here. Psychologically, unstructured duration creates space for intrinsic motivation. Drive originating from curiosity and internal satisfaction rather than rewards or validation. Choosing hour allocation taught your brain associating effort with meaning, not merely outcomes. Gold stars weren't required for engagement. Engagement itself became rewarding. This capacity feels ordinary because it's inherent to you. But within cultures constantly dictating desires, click destinations, and engagement duration, it's increasingly scarce. Many adults feel mysteriously hollow, not from lacking opportunities, but never learning to inhabit open space long enough for authentic desire to surface. You did. Silence doesn't immediately disturb you. Thoughts sustain without escape impulses. Starting journeys without predetermined destinations feels comfortable. You learned early that purpose doesn't materialize complete. Sometimes it appears only after solitary attention permits its emergence. Danger lessons didn't arrive through warning labels or instructional content. You learned embodying physical experience. Trees climbed exceeded safe heights. Bikes lacked helmets. Creeks, construction zones, and explosives became playgrounds with confidence modern parents find horrifying. Sometimes mishaps occurred. Falls happened. Cuts bled. Bones fractured. Limits revealed themselves not through explanation but nervous system feedback. Developmentally, this created lifelong impacts. Research shows children engaging physical risk during play develop more accurate adult threat evaluation. Brains learn distinguishing genuine danger from manageable risk, not imagining it, not observing others, but through direct encounter. Every scraped knee taught your amygdala critical information. Pain exists, but catastrophe doesn't. Every near-miss recalibrated fear responses. Baseline anxiety lowered, not from recklessness, but realistic nervous system calibration. Modern childhood reverses this. Risk vanishes while fear amplifies through screens. Children observe danger constantly without proportional experience. Brains learn vigilance minus calibration. Yours learned calibration minus obsession. Chaos doesn't scramble you like it rattles others. Tense situations don't trigger immediate panic. Your body enters assessment mode. What's actually occurring? What matters now? What actions exist? Pain never proved failure. It provided information, narrative, embodied lessons. When circumstances deteriorate, freezing doesn't happen. Adaptation occurs not from fearlessness, but because your nervous system learned reality through experience, not avoidance. When situations collapse, you grow quieter. While others panic, explain, or emotionally unravel, something shifts you into different operational modes. Scanning begins, prioritization happens, problem-solving activates. Externally, this calm resembles detachment, suggesting insufficient concern. Internally, something specific unfolds. Your nervous system recognizes familiar territory. Growing up, chaos arrived without instruction manuals. Plans dissolved, situations became unpredictable, and nobody rushed buffering discomfort. Self-orientation became necessary, priority assessment essential, action required. Your body learned urgency doesn't demand panic. Psychologically, this reflects accurate threat calibration. Early consequence exposure prevented overreaction to every disruption. Distinguishing noise from danger, discomfort from collapse became innate. Crisis moments don't trigger dramatization instincts. Stabilization becomes primary. Reassurance isn't prerequisite for movement, movement is regulation. This gets misunderstood. People lacking this development interpret steadiness as emotional detachment. It isn't detachment, it's efficiency. Minds trained maintaining functionality amid messiness. You don't deny chaos, you simply prevent it dominating environments. You mastered solitude before it became something feared. Childhood stretches remained quiet by contemporary standards. No perpetual notifications, no algorithms hijacking attention every heartbeat. Hours passed in rooms, music playing completely through. Grass became conversation space with friends or solitary thought walks unfolded. Not from loneliness, nothing demanded self-escape. Psychologically, this developed quietly disappearing capacity. Comfortable aloneness. Solitude differs from isolation. It's remaining present with internal experience without immediately requiring distraction, validation, or noise. Pre-digital childhood studies show people developing without constant connectivity experience significantly reduced alone time anxiety. Nervous systems don't interpret silence as problems needing solutions. Modern existence teaches opposite lessons. Silence feels suspicious now. Empty moments demand filling. Many struggle with aloneness, not from self-dislike, but never training for tolerating unstructured inner space. You trained. Boredom doesn't automatically push escape-seeking. Waiting rooms, extended drives, quiet evenings don't feel unbearable. Continuous entertainment isn't regulation requirements. Connection remains valued, it's simply not anesthesia. Depth forms when people learn early that thoughts permit sitting with, not outrunning. Feelings rise and fall without immediate commentary. Identity develops internally, not only through external reflection. While invisible, this skill quietly supports everything: emotional stability, self-trust, and clear thinking when world's quiet. You didn't learn self-escape. You learned staying. Waiting once permeated existence. Favorite shows required weekly patience. Photographs needed days revealing success. Conversations meant memorizing numbers, dialing landlines, hoping for availability. Nothing arrived instantly. This wasn't considered defective, just normal. Psychologically, this shaped reward relationships powerfully. Delayed gratification prevents dopamine dumping. It releases gradually through anticipation, effort, completion. Research shows people developing amid waiting build stronger impulse control, superior emotional regulation, and stable long-term satisfaction. Brains don't become dependent on constant stimulation for engagement. Modern systems reverse this. Instant rewards flood brains with dopamine, then crash immediately. This trains dissatisfaction over time. Nothing sustains attention. Pleasure becomes fleeting, boredom unbearable. Your nervous system trained differently. Wanting something didn't mean immediate acquisition, and delay didn't diminish value. Often it enriched experience. Anticipation became enjoyment's component, not obstacle. Instant gratification rarely satisfies you like it satisfies others, not from difficulty pleasing, but because your brain never exhausted reward systems chasing constant hits. Patience isn't passive for you. It's skill enabling depth, commitment, and follow-through while worlds rush past all three. By 8 or 9, you managed independence levels alarming most today. Morning departures happened without detailed plans. One rule existed: return before streetlights illuminate. No phones, no check-ins, no location broadcasting. Neighborhoods, creeks, forests, and unfamiliar territories got navigated using judgment, intuition, and trial-error. Problems demanded personal solutions or consequence acceptance. Psychologically, this built powerful internal architecture. Childhood autonomy research shows unsupervised freedom strengthens internal motivation and decision-making. Without observation, choices become genuine. Situation assessment, risk weighing, and action without external approval all develop. This creates strong internal control locus, belief that actions matter and decisions carry weight. But strength arrived with hidden costs. Children trusted managing themselves early often learn containing emotions alongside behavior. Problems didn't just get solved, they got handled quietly, independently. While building competence, this can limit emotional vocabulary. Many growing this way excel at functioning but struggle requesting help. You may default toward self-reliance even when support exists. Vulnerability feels unnecessary or vaguely uncomfortable, not from devaluing connection, but because your system learned early that survival didn't depend on it. Unsupervised autonomy made you capable, resilient, self-directed, but also taught carrying more than you ever needed carrying alone. There's quiet discomfort many from your generation carry but rarely articulate. It's sensing the world moving in rhythms your nervous system doesn't recognize. You're not technology confused. You're not change resistant. But something about modern existence feels louder, faster, more performative than necessary. Constant updates, explanations, emotional broadcasting. Somewhere beneath, you think, why does everything require so much noise? Psychologically, this isn't resistance, it's mismatch. Your nervous system shaped in environments where attention remained stable, autonomy got expected, and competence demonstrated quietly. Today's world rewards visibility, immediacy, and continuous self-expression. Regulation now comes from external feedback rather than internal stability. When you hesitate oversharing or don't feel compelled narrating every feeling real-time, it gets mistaken for distance. Pausing instead of reacting gets misread as disengagement. But these responses aren't deficits. They're adaptations to different developmental environments. You may feel increasingly displaced, not socially but psychologically. Your system isn't broken. It's simply calibrated for depth over speed, substance over signal. While worlds changed, that wiring retains value. Moments requiring steadiness, discernment, and quiet competence reveal it as anchor, even when it doesn't match room tempo. This isn't about returning. That world dissolved and won't resurrect identically. But the wiring it gave still matters. You don't need abandoning autonomy, patience, or comfort with quiet for belonging in modern worlds. You don't need becoming louder, faster, or more visible for remaining relevant. Those traits weren't limitations, they were adaptations to different environments, and they still carry value where depth, stability, and clear thinking matter. The work now isn't outgrowing that childhood but integrating it, keeping the self-trust and resilience it gave while allowing yourself more connection, support, and emotional range than you were ever encouraged having back then. If this video helped you understand yourself deeper or put words to years of feeling, you're not alone here. Share your experience in comments below. And if you appreciate research-based psychological insight like this, consider hitting that like button and subscribing to Psycho2Mind. We're just getting started.